So, good afternoon. I am currently Tolentino. I'll be your reporter for today. Report is all about globalization. So, what is globalization? It refers to increasing interconnect and convergence of activities and forms of life among diverse culture throughout the world. So, when we say global, there is a relation in the entire world. So, global education and globalization. In order to thrive in this globalized world, an education for globalization should nurture the higher order cognitive and interpersonal skills required for problem finding, problem solving, articulating arguments, and deploying verifiable facts or artifacts. These skills should be required for youth and children who will, as adults, fully engage the larger world and master its greatest challenges, transforming it for the betterment of humanity, regardless of national origin or cultural upbringing. So, in order to thrive in this globalized world, an education and globalization is very important for for the reason it has the higher cognitive and interpersonal skills that can lead to better humanity. So it must be practiced also and to the child in order them to fall in engage in this larger world whenever they came from or in which country they are originated. Because when we see globalization, there is unity to become one. There is a globalized. There is peace and cooperation to each country in order to have this meaningful life. So globalization links individuals and institutions across the world with unprecedented interconnection. So we cannot say that individuals alone can lead to globalization. There is a link between individual of people and institutions because institution also alone is not considered as globalization because it's just only one. So in globalization there is a merge or emergence of two components to become one, just like individual, people, and the institution. So unprecedented interconnection, there is a communication. There is never done. When we say unprecedented, it is never done unstoppable, and there is a connection of the two to become one and to have a harmonious life. So globalization have positive and negative. So first is the positive impact. So first, it gives access to the larger world. So yes, we can access into the larger market for the reason that we can merely import and export products. So from the different countries around the world, no, nang naanap tayo mga LV, mga channel nga makita dahil sa Philippines. So kana sila is dili na sila originated made from Philippines. They are made from the other countries. So, tungkol sa globalization, we are allowed to have access into the larger market. And next, it leads to better companies. So, yes, because we are applying what are the trends in today's generation. So, that's why it leads to the better of our company. So, promotes world peace and unity. So, as what I have said earlier, that globalization leads us to have peace and unity because we are going to unite as one. That's why we cooperate together and have this understanding to each other, and we can build a better progression economy and the best and successful in our future success or next generation. So next is the innovation. So reason that globalization leads to have this high technology. So just like before, we experienced this old computer, but now we have this touchscreen, iPads, monopads, the mga cellphone, and just like everything that we can see uh, in our in our world. So world today, because of the higher technologies that we experience nowadays through the help of globalization. So last is the better quality and variety. So it improves our products just like imports and exports. Next is the negative impact. So first, process of environmental damage. So it possesses environmental damage because the people will demand, and then the entrepreneurs will respond on what people will demand. So just like restaurants, buildings, etc., that they are going to implement to satisfy the needs of humans. So that's why there are causes in our environment, because they are going to cut trees, because they are going to build a new building and everything what people will demand. So next is last, it is a job insecurity. So there is unfair treatment of the requirement of having job, because some companies set high standards. So just like hotels, the owner will hire the educated one compared to uneducated. So there is what we call job insecurities. So characteristics of globalization that can be linked to education. So it has four terms. The first, educational terms. Second, economic terms. Third, political terms. And the last, cultural terms. So educational terms. There is a growing understanding that the neoliberalism version of globalization, particularly defended by bilateral, multilateral, and international organizations, is reflected in an educational agenda that privileges, if not directly imposes, particularly policies for education, evaluation, financing, assessment, standards, teaching, training, curriculum, instruction, and testing. Next is the economic terms. A transition from furthest to post-furthest forms of workplace organization, a rise in internationalized advertising and consumption patterns, a reduction in barriers to the free flow of national workers and investments across national borders, a corresponding new pressures on the role of workers and consumers on societies. Economic terms is the free flow of national workers. So, ang kanang example is ang kanang pag-abroad na sa mga Pinoy nga maka-abroad na sila, makatrabaho na sila sa laing country. And next is the political term. A certain nation-state sovereignty, or at least the erosion of national autonomy and corresponding awakening of the notion of the citizens as a unified and unifying concept that can be characterized by precise rules, rights, obligations, and status. And last is the cultural term, a tension between the ways in which more standardization and cultural homogeneity, while also bringing more fragmentation through the rise of locally oriented movement. And so that's all for my report. Thank you.